Nice they gave you that tooltip, in case you don't understand what start streaming means.
We might be live. I don't know. I mean, in the past, when I would click start streaming, I would have to wait 5 solid seconds before saying we're live. But hey, we're live for patrons. We're live for everybody.
The health is good.
Now, if you are on Patreon and you are 19 plus, I think the Patreon is integrated with Discord at this point. You should be able to join the Patreon meeting channel. So if not, let me know, because this can be totally a tech support thread.
Patreon is YouTube Red, not over here. What?
Okay, they say we're live on YouTube, so that's
okay.
Good. At least there's not terrible latency.
I have the same splitter. Yeah, this is one we used when we did the streaming on the couch.
Yeah.
It's not great.
It's a little ghetto, but it works. Yeah. It works.
You know what? Alternative we had? The alternative we had was like $600. That was like $30. So.
Yeah.
A little bit of a hiss, but
we're here to be good stewards of your money, so we decided to go with a $30 option.
Yeah, that is exactly right.
Are we actually early, or are we a little bit late?
Can one of you guys, like Zenon, you're there? Did the Discord thing work? Do you need an invite? Should we post an invite?
I said we might have to post a link if.
I have to post a link.
Just to make sure.
You can drive with that.
Oh.
But if you post a link, is that unfiltered?
No, I think that
you can set it for 19 only.
Yeah, anybody can join the Discord. It's just that only some people will be able to join the voice channel, as determined by the Patreon integration. You don't have it. That's not good.
So it doesn't work. They did just redesign Patreon like a week ago. So there's probably some stuff.
Redesign. They bolted some stuff.
Yeah, I don't like the new Patreon logo. I liked the old one better. I feel like the new one doesn't really say anything about them.
No, I'm looking for you in the level 1. I'm not seeing you.
Yeah, it would have been the level 1 Discord, not the PGP Discord, for those of you who frequent one or the other.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
If you're like me, check both.
Let's just make an invite here real quick. Let's see.
No idea if Discord's working. I'm a lowly pleb.
The Discord interface is also shit. Figuring out how to leave a voice channel took me forever. Then I was not on the level 1 Discord.
Oh, okay. So that's why.
Tell me why.
Well, we were a little bit worried that there'd be too many people in the voice chat. Those fears can now be rested.
Put to rest. Well, usually the Q&As are fairly quiet because we have to do them on like Sundays and stuff, and people are busy. So.
But no one should be busy today.
Oh, don't edit that one. That's for all patrons. We'll see that.
That's fine.
Is it fine?
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you link Discord in your default? We should probably do that. I haven't updated that. Someone asked me on Twitter what it was. I had to message it to him. I feel bad sometimes people message stuff on Twitter, and a lot of times it's like, how should I build my PC? And I'm like, I'm the one who checks this. It might be better put on the forum, like
how to build a PC in 140 characters. Challenge accepted.
Yeah. Like, just take this to the forum, bud.
Very carefully.
That Discord link doesn't seem very random. KHH7 capital W. Probably bad. Okay, that Discord link should automatically do the roll thing, so it should be good.
Until it doesn't.
Literally, level 1 text doing level 1 yes. Yes.
You must be new here.
Even when we're streaming games, we're troubleshooting application issues.
Yeah.
And these Q&As are not highly attended.
Yeah.
Which is why everybody was invited.
We decided to see if that would maybe increase engagement, or like maybe we need to think of another thing, but we'll see.
Was that a join noise?
I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, I didn't hear anything.
Reloading.
Oh, you're just on the web page. We get that app.
Yeah, the app's better. IMO.
Yes, it says voice connected. No one is in there though, and the microphone is muted there. So.
Okay.
Banana.
Well, we can answer the other questions.
Welcome, Xenanom. Xenanom is here. Yes.
Did it throw
Yeah.
him into the?
Did it give you the right rolls? Let's see. No rolls.
Oh, cool. Great. Patreon messes us up
Oh,
again.
so we just have to do this for every single person. That won't be annoying.
Well, it will do it automatically. I don't know why it didn't just then, but it should.
It's supposed to.
So yeah, all right. You should be able to join the voice channel if you want to.
We have some questions on Patreon already that people had already posted, so we can answer those as well.
Yes. Okay. Are we ready to get this show on the road? Is that what we're gonna do?
It is 7:31. Looks like. Can't see from here. So we're technically right on time right now.
Okay. Mutation's got a question. Any progress on the wiki style page for the community created guides? Yes. So Discourse is doing a lot on the wiki side, and I looked at doing like OAuth integration on the Discourse side, and I have a prototype for that. Actually, Eden has done a lot of work for that, and it's like okay, the integration, but I would much rather do it inside Discourse. So there have been a lot of changes under the Discourse engine the last couple updates, and actually we're getting ready to do a really big update on the forum for the software for Discourse and some of the plugins that we use. And I think almost maybe it might be ready for wiki stuff after that update. We need to do a couple of more tests and see. But I think it should be possible for us to have a workflow where we like have an article, like the IOMMU article on the main website, and then that is posted as an article on the forum, and then people can reply or update the page or turn that into a wiki basically, and sort of go from there. Discourse is also changing their Markdown editor or their editor to be more Markdown friendly. So we will probably enable the more advanced editor so we can get some more advanced editing and formatting options, which I think should really help things.
Oh, that just means more things for me to style.
Yeah. Wiki's been Eden's been working on the wiki for some time, and I would really like to have turn a lot of the technical posts into things that are a little bit more sticky than stuff on the forum, because stuff on the forum goes away too quickly.
Yeah.
Or you get people get in like weird arguments in the comments, and it's like, this is a really great guide, and then there's two people arguing about banana pie in the comments, and it's like, this site's weird.
Had to do a lot of cleaning up on 4th of July. I don't know what brought it out. People got real argumentative in some threads, and it was like, that's fine if you want to argue about this, but don't do it in a thread about something completely unrelated.
All right, let's go to Patreon and answer the questions that were there before we forget.
Too hard to find more different pages. Yeah, that happens. There was quite a few. There was a lot of people who commented on the fact that I put the wrong date, but it's today. It's not June 5th. It's July 5th.
You gotta load more comments twice. That's another wonderful little UI element they give you
Yeah, it's like hidden.
Why do they do
And
this?
it's at the top too. Like it should be at the bottom because you're reading top to bottom.
Okay, 3 days ago, Time Machine got that. Tune in live, Davey S on Patreon. Yes, this will be on YouTube. Like the link still works. Like you can always watch it. And I think the past Patreon tiers, some of the things we've let people watch. Other times we've just edited like part of it and posted it. But it should be fine. An archive link. My question: machine learning. My question: what uses can machine learning have for natural language? Well, most of the Google Translate stuff right now is already machine learning. Like the translate stuff that's really good, that's gotten really good at translating stuff, is already machine learning, and it's easier to give. It's like the combined works of Shakespeare in 3 different languages, and feed that to an AI and be like, here you go, here's the translation into a bunch of different languages for Shakespeare, and have the machine sort of figure out meaning from that. You get you don't have to write explicit rules in the language for localization, cultural idioms that are common, things like that. So if you've ever had to deal with outsourced technical support, you can never explain anything in terms of cultural idioms because they don't have the same culture. And so it's like, oh, this is, it's like shooting fish in a barrel. They're like, what in the hell are you talking about?
What does that have to do with programming?
Is that Discord?
Did you hear crackling too?
I did hear crackling. Oh, no one's in there. Does anybody? Do I need to
Mystery.
manually add anybody? Xenanom, were you able to join Patreon meeting?
I don't know.
Permissions.
Technical errors abound as usual.
That looks okay. Oops.
Should we have like a wiki section? Like, would it just be its own like subboard?
Yeah, it could.
That'd probably be the easiest thing to do, like in terms of organization.
Xenanom is here,
Hey,
and he's not muted. I'm muted. I'm not. This microphone's not turned on.
Now, can they hear Xenanom if he speaks?
Don't think
They
so.
cannot hear Xenanom if he
We'll have
speaks.
to.
Well, that's
We'll have to like.
that's.
Oh hey.
Yay! Look, there he is.
We can hear Xenanom, but you can't. That's,
He says hello,
I don't know
everybody.
if that's really ideal.
No,
but
it'll be like an audience. When somebody asks us a question, we'll repeat the question back, and then
Yeah.
see, that's how that works. So, okay, this works. I'm gonna mute myself again. Unless you have. Well, no, we need to get through the text questions first. I'll be back.
Pudding.
So, yeah, machine learning, natural language. Yes, natural language is all about machine learning. Natural language is one of the best and first applications of machine learning, as a matter of fact. So, turns out. Did I miss anything in the chat?
no.
Okay. Do we mean July or an old post? Yes. Sorry, I push people. It's fine. With all the governments talking about weakening encryption, what would the future look like if there were laws where, when there is open source Linux and good encryption, could they attempt to ban normal people from open source software? No, there's just no way that will work. It would be like banning copyright, like public domain copyright free works. I can't imagine that would work in any scenario ever.
What they'll do is they'll go after the software makers. So if a Linux distribution got too big, it would become a target.
Yeah.
So you'd have constant little splinters, which you already do. Maybe for once, the lack of cohesion in Linux would actually be good for it.
This kind of already happened, not for encryption. MP3s, if you want sort of a microcosm of something really similar to what you described with encryption happening in terms of like, oh my God, what happens if they outlaw encryption? That happened with MP3s, because when MP3s first came out, they were the devil and record labels lost their minds. Well, they were asleep for 5 years. But then after that, MP3s were the devil. And the Fraunhofer, the people that have the technology, that was patented. And so they would actually sue the bejesus out of people that were using MP3 decompression algorithms because they invented the compression, they patented. The patent only recently expired, like a couple of weeks ago. It's 20 years old at this point. And if you want to know what that mechanism, that legal mechanism for trying to stop software looks like, it will look a lot like what happened with MP3, which was not effective, and everyone had MP3s everywhere. And Linux distros, like Ryan said, were just like apt-get install those prohibited MP3 thingies, and then you were good to go.
But it won't stop them from trying.
Ooh, he's trying.
Yeah. Good. Could more free-form Linux content be created that requires less editing? I'd love to hear you guys ramble on about some tools you use or just general knowledge. The current pfSense stuff is great, but the Bash tutorial we put out a while ago was life-changing. There's not a lot of content that I can immediately off the top of my head think of, oh my God, that's life-changing. We are talking to people about doing a Linux thing that will be really big, but I don't know exactly how we're going to pull it off. But we're going to do something, so it's going to be interesting.
Time's ticking on that too. I'm aware of it every day.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know what like the super handy things. I do have in mind a video to do around SSH and rsync for backup and your SSH config file, because like everybody understands, or everybody doesn't understand exactly all the stuff that you can do with SSH. Like SSH is insanely powerful. Like you think, oh, it's like I've got full control of the remote system. It does so much more than most people realize. You can do a lot with it, just a ton of stuff. So I don't know.
Got some questions actually in the live chat as well.
Okay, what was one?
How
Why
long
can't-
till Skynet?
What?
What? How long till Skynet?
That was a joke.
Oh,
There
Why
are
can't-
actually.
Why can't copyrights expire like patents? Copyrights do expire, don't
they do, but they keep extending them every time Disney's patent or Disney's copyrights are coming up for
they?
expiration.
Because corporations write the laws. Keeps coming back to that, turns out.
Alan Jude Part 2 coming soon.
That would be cool. So, some freeform Linux content that might be good might be those style interviews. Because Brian Lunduk does pretty well with those. I would probably take a different tack on it in terms of like interviewing people, and that's pretty easy, not a lot of editing required. So I could probably do some stuff like that that wouldn't be super time consuming, and that might be interesting. I do want to do, Eric Raymond is insanely busy, but I've hit him up about doing some content like that. The one video that I really want to do with him is to talk about maintaining a program that is decades old and the stuff that goes into maintaining a program that's decades old. Like, what are the strategies for dealing with that? How do you manage the complexity of that project? Because he's got a lot of really super interesting life experiences and anecdotes and things like that I think we can all learn from that would probably be really interesting content. So he is down to do that. He doesn't have any equipment that is like his equipment is actually awful. So I don't know. I kind of want to like go to his house and like set up all of his stuff so that he has a good camera and a good microphone in order to do that. Is one thing that I would like to do. Maybe I can just mail it to him in a box. I don't know, but we'll see. What was the other? There was another. Any new server projects coming up? I've still got the
Yes.
videos on Docker, like doing stuff with Docker, because we are using the crap out of Docker on our little Google box. I mean, our cached Steam downloads alone is just huge. So, one thing that's problematic with that is that if you want to do it right, that machine needs a bunch of IP addresses on your local network so that you can set up caching for all the different services more than just Steam. So,
I did see that Nixie Pixel was live the other day. I've heard a lot about her, like Wendell mentioned her to me.
I talked to her one time, but I don't know how she's doing health wise. If that's like all straightened out now, or
It seems to be if she went live the other day and was like talking about making videos again.
that would be good.
Yeah.
So, how did this storage server project work out? It is amazing. It's what all of our stuff runs on.
Yeah.
It's glorious.
Video drive.
Yeah.
All our interns save all their stuff there.
Yeah.
No more saving to desktop.
Yeah, we literally edit directly off the network, which is sort of nuts. But hey, with proxy workflows, it's not terrible. So the storage server is amazing. What else we got?
Monthly Raspberry Pi builds. You got to think of something interesting to do with the Pi. That's the problem. Like, are you just going to install Linux on it? And
Well, we had a cool idea for a Raspberry Pi.
it literally died.
It literally died.
Maybe we'll get a replacement someday.
Yeah.
But I mean, what do we got? 3D print a box and put a Raspberry Pi in it, and you got to have an idea.
You got to do the home automation thing. We do have an alarm system that can integrate with a Raspberry Pi, and one of the long time supporters, I owe a video on how I've done home automation at my place, which we've got the equipment to do. I just need to shoot it now. I've got most of the equipment to do. You got to do it in layers. So at the lower layer, you have a standard alarm system that plugs into other stuff, and then the other stuff in this case is a Raspberry Pi, because you don't want your home alarm and the video cameras and stuff to be running from a Raspberry Pi. That's silly. But you can use the Raspberry Pi to be the value add on top of something that is, going to survive the nuclear holocaust.
Oh, I can't see shit. I have to like lean forward.
And you drove here. That's always disturbs me because that's a really big font.
Emulator OTA capture for cheap VPN point to point. The Pi hole is a pretty good project, although the Pi is very slow. The Pi hole, if you guys don't know, is a project on GitHub that black holes ads on your network, so you can use your Raspberry Pi as a proxy. And it's like, oh, let me just filter out all the ads from the internet for you in all your unencrypted internet traffic, which is pretty neat.
How hard is it to balance your day job and channels and streams?
There are days.
Some days it's not real fun. Most of the time it's not too bad. We have like a pretty good schedule set up. Like we always film on Wednesdays and Sundays. And then sometimes we like might do pickup some other time, but usually it's like those 2 days are like our hardcore like let's do filming stuff days and like planning and writing and all that.
It is hard. The other thing is true is we're doing well enough in the day job that I'm actively looking for more people to do day job stuff, which will free us to do more stuff.
Oh, you're going to open a floodgate saying that?
Yeah, well, no, I mean, it's not, it's,
We don't want your applications.
The
Is that what
Irish
you're
need
trying-
not apply.
but, yeah, because there's not, yeah, it doesn't work like the way that you're imagining, but there are some things going on behind the scenes, because I already didn't have a lot of free time, and this is actually like you have to have like just as a life goal. I think it's pretty cool to have a quote unquote serious hobby that you know that is fulfilling and rewarding and whatever. Because most people don't. It's like you should get a job doing something you love. That's basically BS. You have to get a job to survive. If you're fortunate enough to have a job doing something you love, that's great. But I guarantee that you're not going to love your job all the time. And eventually you will be promoted to a level in your job that you're no longer doing the thing that you really originally signed up to do. And the chances of you also having satisfaction with that will probably be very low. That said, I'm very satisfied with what I do, but this is a lot of fun and a lot of really interesting opportunity to meet really smart people in the industry. And so I really like it. It is a lot of fun. And so the difficulty balancing things is really not that bad in the grand scheme of things.
I missed one. With all the hubbub about government intrusion in the internet, any thoughts on things like Hyperborea and mesh nets? I think it's all about adoption for stuff like that and convenience. And you're never going to beat the convenience of the existing internet. So it has to get so bad that the normies are willing to try.
That's one of the things that's really terrifying to governments about WhatsApp. So WhatsApp is end-to-end encryption. And, you know, public key encryption existed well before WhatsApp. But the terrifying thing to governments is, oh shit, people are suddenly using public key encryption. Because look at public key encryption in email. It's been around since like 89. I mean, if you really want to be pedantic, like 89, but you know, to where like the masses could use it, I would say probably like 97, 98, 1998 for fully encrypted end-to-end email on our existing system. But getting people to participate and getting things to work with certificates, and now of course the modern version of that's X509, and no one is using it. Almost no one is using it. And the reason is convenience. The reason is there's too much friction there. The reason is it's not, you know, the complexity versus exchanging emails with people is not really there. But when applications like WhatsApp have that built in, that's a game changer. That's completely different. And that's why people inside intelligence agencies are like, oh my God, this is crazy. We gotta outlaw encryption. So, in a way, those mesh nets already exist because it's the social network on WhatsApp. I mean, if you really wanted to sort of squint your eyes a little bit, I mean, isn't that what that is?
What was the last one we answered? I don't remember.
Sorry, I ramble a lot.
Oh, it's fine.
Why haven't you set up Alexa or another voice assistant to answer the word computer? And if you have, can you demo it? It's coming soon, and I'd love to see details on secure voice-activated systems and/or the Internet of Shit properly.
Because computer is always listening.
Yeah, it's not. I really don't want Alexa listening in all the time. Did you come to my dorm room when I had that set up?
I don't think so.
I did that in college. It's not as cool as it's like I've already got that out of my system. I had a microphone that had a push to talk button, and it was hooked up to it was like Dragon Naturally Speaking 4 or something like that. There was a programmer's edition of that was running on a 486 DX4 100, and the API could be trained to recognize certain words and phrases. And I had it hooked up, the 486 DX4 100 had RS-232 serial control of a servo board and a set of relays, and so I could actually do some rudimentary automation of my dorm room. There are, I think there's an article about that somewhere.
What did you automate? What could you possibly automate?
Coffee maker, lights overhead, deadbolt, and a couple other things that run electrical outlets. So
But-
like, what?
How big of the room, like, to, like, oh, I need to go lock the door. It's literally like 2 steps away, like.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. Like, it's useless.
I mean, the coffee maker would be kind of nice. I mean, they do that with the Keurig now, but
Yeah,
back then you couldn't do that.
yeah. There was no Keurig. It was just a coffee pot on a relay. And actually, that was one of the more dangerous things that I did, because the coffee pot used a lot more electricity than I thought it would, and the relay that I used was a solid state relay, but it was not rated for more than like 10 amps, and the coffee pot was like 12 amps or something. So I may have melted some things, but it was basically okay.
No one died.
Yeah, it's basically fine. So it was really good. One time there was a fire drill. I had a really, really bright fluorescent light, so the dorm room was like 16 by 12 or 16 by
small.
16 or something. It wasn't real big, but I installed a fluorescent light fixture, which is two 48-inch daylight bulbs. So there was a lot of light in the dorm room. And one night there is like 2 or 3 a.m. and I was bored, and there was a fire alarm in the middle of the night. And we went outside, and then the firemen have to come and check and see why the fire alarm went off. So they literally go room by room through the whole dorm. And it was a huge multi-story building. And I was literally just outside in the parking lot looking up at my dorm room. It was like, computer, lights on, computer, lights off. And my lights were just going on and off. And they were like, somebody's up there. And I was like, no, it's just me being really bored.
That's just me being a troll.
So since there's a delay and I don't know how can I ask things on Discord without interrupting, I'll ask here. How's coming along? I haven't worked on in a month, but I did successfully finally get the servo control of the cameras working. So that's good. So I can actually control the position of the camera now. I should be able to, get the Raspberry Pi inside of and actually get like on the network and to a point where I can SSH into it and control it. That's probably the next step. That's probably a weekend project.
The next step is getting, like, fuzzy orange boa and then cutting up and giving him articulated eyebrows so he looks angry all the time.
That is your job, because I've done my part. So take the company card.
Just go and get some orange boas.
Yes.
We'll write it off. It's fine.
I totally forgot about I haven't. It's in the hallway. I pass it every time I go through the hallway.
Is he in the hallway? I thought he was in your office.
No, it's in the hallway on that rolly
He was
cart.
in your office for a while. Poor .
I support you guys on Patreon, Linux content, level 1 news, IOMMU page, PSense router, interview with Alan G were all fantastic. Given that the Linux content doesn't get as many views on YouTube as the hardware videos, do you think you will focus more or less attention on Linux-based content in the near future? How much do YouTube views weigh on what your content you decide to be produced? Honestly, the thing that weighs on us most right now is growing the community, because there are a lot of people in the community that want that type of content, but even like YouTube's algorithms, that kind of content is unusual. Most of the new subscribers that we get are ones that are actually searching for a specific topic, and it's mostly hardware, but it is a little bit topic specific. So in that regard, somebody searching for IOMMU will find our stuff, see that it's well done, and hopefully see that we kind of know what we're talking about, and they'll say, okay, I'm going to subscribe, and this is really great. And so that works really, really well. Wait, what now?
We actually had a couple questions up top.
Is there a project you've wanted to do that you can justify now that level 1 text is a thing? LT1? What's LT1?
Level text one.
Is there more above that?
There was one asking how we all met. We actually all worked together. Ryan and Wenzel knew each other a little bit before that, but we all worked together at the day job, so that's how we know each other.
That you wanted to do that you can justify now. There's the thing that we were working on that died. That was going to be a lot of fun.
That wasn't really like, oh my God, I have to do this. That was just, we were in the car one day making fun of things. And it's like, oh my God, we should do that.
And then
But it
you
died.
spent all that money.
It's
Yeah,
sad.
you're gonna get that anyway, right?
It's sad too. Yeah, yeah. It was gonna be outside though, but it's fine.
He was outside for like the last month of his life.
The Intel just laid off most of their Internet of Things workforce, or I don't know if it's most of their Internet of Things workforce, but the Intel announced downsizing in their Internet of Things stuff, which should tell you something about the Internet of Things stuff. But
They don't know why you're talking about that. But that's fine. Someday, we might announce that project.
No, we don't want to give it away. Though I think some people already knew about it. Like I think we've mentioned it before. Kind of the idea.
yeah, yeah. There probably are a few other projects that we wanted to do. I can't think of them right now because, goodness, we've got enough stuff to do. We've got like a fourth of a whiteboard filled with videos that are, and about half of those are in shot or partially shot statuses.
Or editing or
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's kind of, I mean, we may actually be able to have more than 3 videos for a month or two. 3 videos a week. That'd be a lot of fun.
Usually now it's like what, Tuesday, and then we usually release one on Thursday, sometimes Saturday.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we try to always have one on Thursday, or on or around Thursday. And then if we got an extra one, then Saturday. But I think that can, like, we could even have more than that, probably. So.
I think it's nice to have the buffer though, in case something happens. Like, if we're out or something, it's like, oh, we've got videos to show them and not worry about it.
There's that, but there's also that we've still got some Z270 motherboards that we need to we need to release the videos on while it's still relevant.
Well, it's still real, yeah.
Sorry.
Oh yeah. I need to do a giveaway again soon.
I think that there's a bunch of stuff on the way for a giveaway, which will be based around the Z270X Gaming 8 from Gigabyte, which we have not reviewed yet.
'Cause we all look at the hardware shelf, like.
Yeah, so that will be good, I think. Can I tell you I hate the midnight release of the news? Aww.
What
But
difference does it make when you watch it?
yeah.
It doesn't get stale. I mean, I guess it's a little bit older news, but if we release it later, it would still be older news.
Jake. Oh, yeah. Okay, so we got both of those.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And there was another one, looks like maybe. ...
Community is transient. I will always follow YouTube, but the forum is very hit and miss on how active I am. I'm hoping that will be more project-related content, but it's summertime, and so most of the
People are
project
busy.
content come from students, which in summer are not working on projects, but they will in the fall when they return to school. So, have you guys ever been legitimately pissed at each other after a game of Battlegrounds?
Not really.
I haven't been. I don't know.
Maybe Ryan's like, I can't carry these noobs, but I get like salty and then like it passes very quickly.
Yeah, I don't.
Like by the time I hit play again and we start queuing up, I'm fine.
It's been a long time since I was really upset over the outcome of a video game. A long time, and I think that's good. That's a life goal right there.
How hard is it to kill a project that's not really coming together? Maybe I'm just an old person, but I don't really care anymore. Like it happens, it happens like a lot. It happens enough that I think a regular person would probably be like really depressed.
Are we talking about professionally or?
Yeah, we don't lose projects that often.
But the problem is, like, when people have already paid you something, and you can't convince them that what's being built is wrong, and
It's an abomination.
Yeah.
it's never going to work. I mean, we had one situation where it was just like we couldn't communicate with these people, and we kept building it over and over, and they were like, no, this is wrong. And at that point,
They didn't know how their business
you
worked.
can't wait for it to die.
Yeah.
And you're like, please let this die because I don't want it out there for the world to see that we built it because
Yeah.
it's so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody hide a comment deep down in a file that's like, I'm so sorry, whoever has to maintain this.
Yeah, imagine going to work for Dr. Frankenstein and the job application was, we're going to be doing cutting edge science and we're going to help people live longer. And when you get there, it's like, we're building the monster. It's like, what?
Oh,
It's like, we're robbing graves. It's like, what?
I didn't sign up. This wasn't in the engagement letter. I didn't sign up for this.
Yeah. What will it take for level 1 enterprise to start receiving videos, or the videos going there and instead go to level 1 text and Linux? Enterprise, when Enterprise was started, I had an in with contacts at Dell and HP and a company called Synex. And they were willing to send me hardware to use just for review purposes. I'm going to have to send it back, obviously, because these servers are like 10 grand. I was not able to get the support I needed at the time, and those leads have evaporated. So if something like that, if an opportunity presents itself like that again, I'll probably do that. I still have access to a lot of really high-end enterprise hardware. The problem is most of the time it's shipped directly to the data center, or it's directly shipped on site where it's going to be used, because anything else logistically is a nightmare. And so it's like, yeah, I got to play with this really awesome super server, woohoo! But it's remote access, so it doesn't really translate to a video all that well. I would love to add more IT pros and more people that work in the enterprise to the audience, because I think those people are interesting, their life experiences, and I would love to learn from them and learn what they worked on and learn what all the problems are. Because like, you know, like the video that we did on the Dell MD1000 wouldn't have been able to do that had not been retired. That was basically, we were just refurbishing it for another purpose. And you know, those are insanely expensive pieces of hardware, and those things, like that chassis has been quirky since day one. So like anybody that actually shelled out and bought an MD1000, you know, Blade Center chassis, I mean, for the amount of money that you paid, you'd be surprised how weird and flaky that kind of hardware is. And that's pretty much still true in the enterprise. It's like, oh, you just shelled out $100,000 for a new SAN? It's like, well, you know, be sure not to turn it on in the wrong order, or be sure not to do this, or be sure not to do this other thing, because nobody really like plays with it. And so doing those kind of videos and having the vendor not be like, we're never going to send you anything again, is slightly problematic. Do we have any plans for more vlog videos? There's a fine line between vlog and vapid.
Yeah, it's so hard to know like what to do and make it interesting and not just here's us talking for 20 minutes about nothing in particular.
Maybe. I mean, that said, maybe. Because, like, this is just me rambling, which I guess, I mean, okay, whatever, but...
We could probably, I know we were talking about like what photos to post since we've done so many at the studio. Maybe we'll do some more like out and about every day pictures.
Go build it, and I'll tell you if it's right. I don't know what that means.
Talking about the
It's about like when a client
person.
comes to you. I'll know
yeah,
it when
yeah.
I see it. That's what gets me. Like I'm like, no, you're gonna show me exemplars of what you want, and you're gonna tell me what features you want, and then I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, it's like, do we really build a house this way? I mean, come on. Matt Aarons. I don't know who that is, but yeah, I mean, if he's down to do an interview. I get an interview with Jason Scott too, but he's been really super busy and hasn't returned my tweets on that, so I need to bug him some more about that.
He hasn't returned my. You're just tweeting at him, just constantly chirping.
Would you rather fight a horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
You ever play an RPG? You want one hit per turn. 100 hits per turn? Forget about it.
Horse-sized duck, I think.
I don't know. Horse-sized duck is pretty mean. Duck-sized horses, I mean, assuming that the duck-sized horses are not any more intelligent or more malicious than regular-sized horses, I mean, I can't imagine that just like sneezing on a duck-sized horse wouldn't break its legs.
Oh, you are way overestimating your ability against
100.
It's horses. They can kick you. They can turn around.
Oh,
Think
yeah.
about the impact that a duck-sized horse is like. A little dog,
Yeah,
they
bowl
can-
you over.
or like a cat can swat pretty hard. Plus, they can bite. Little tiny bites, but 100 of them, and you're gonna have your back to some of them.
It'd be
So,
like the compies in Jurassic Park.
once they get your knees, you're done.
Yeah, if I'm on the ground, it's basically over. That is true.
Plus, what are the rules of this fight? Is it like survival, or is it you must finish them? Because you're never gonna catch them. They'll just run you till you're exhausted, and then they'll finish you.
My assumption was that it was survival, and so I figured most of the horses would be disinterested in me, but
I would say
I don't
ducks
know.
are definitely meaner.
yeah, the ducks would for sure be meaner, or a giant duck would for sure be meaner. I mean, that duck might be large enough to like actually get its like beak around my head. That seems just really
Nah,
dangerous.
horse-sized, because it's not gonna be able to get it around your head. I don't know what the
What the scale actually is.
No, I can imagine a horse-sized duck, but like the closing power of a jaw, like a crocodile's got all kinds of bite power.
Oh, yeah,
I don't
like-
know what kind of bite power a duck has.
Pressure per inch.
It doesn't
or whatever.
have teeth. Not really.
So it can't like grab you and shake you and do damage.
Your arguments for a horse-sized duck are strong.
I think, plus the feathers, once you get
Nice
a
cushion for your
handful of
fists.
something, you could get around its back and get a hold of its wing.
And then you could ride the duck.
No, you don't want to ride it. You
I
just
don't
want
think
to
that-
fuck
What
it
if
up.
you what if you break its spirit that way though?
You're going to get on its back and go for its eyes, I think is what you're going to have to do. Although they have strong necks.
They do. Also, they're rapists, aren't they? Like ducks are rapists.
Well, I guess that could factor into it.
That could, yeah. In which case, I might take all the little horses.
Yeah, I would have to. I would stick with my original answer as long as the horses are of a normal and average temperament. If they're like somehow mean horses or they're like anti-people or whatever, and they're all going to be attacking at once.
Untamed.
Well, why wouldn't they attack at once? You're
Well,
fighting them.
horses.
Well, horses aren't. Well, I guess they are kind of pack animals, but do you think they would like hunt in a pack like a wolf?
No, they're mostly stupid.
I think they would spaz out and kick you like they do when there's a snake. But there'd be a lot of them.
If the horses were not spazzing out, I don't know.
They're going to spaz out.
Yeah.
You could do Hack 5 style 101 videos on basic Linux command line stuff. If we did something that is Hack 5 style 101, it would be a comprehensive video course from end to end about everything you needed to know. So, maybe do a video on cheap eBay server stuff for home or garage use. Yeah, that might not be a bad idea. Did I ever pick up that monitor color tool? No, I never did. We probably should do that.
We should do that.
We actually,
That would actually probably be helpful for me in my day job.
since this is the budget video, right?
Yes. I
We-
think so. Well, I mean, yeah.
Everyone's can see it right now, so they can watch it whenever. But
Well, they're all patrons, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So-
open to everybody.
We're for the first time ever, we're a little bit under budget this month. So
Woohoo!
might be a good use for that money.
Yeah. We've had a little bit of an underflow on our editing time, let's say, summer vacation and people off work and whatever. So we're actually going to be it's going to be right at $1,000 budget surplus. So we'll probably get the colorimeter and maybe an XLR adapter for the camera. I don't know what else we really need. The XLR adapter for the camera would let us go analog out, balanced analog out from our mixing panel, because right now we're using a headphone cable and there's a little bit of a hiss in it. That sometimes there's a lot of hiss if we use a longer cable.
Nah.
So. Ride the huge duck.
This
there's
is
lots
all
of comments.
about the Ryan goes for the kill.
Normal sized geese break
Well, no, we're not
people's
talking about
arms?
geese. We're talking about ducks. Because geese are total. Like, I wouldn't deal with the geese either way. Because geese are mean as hell.
Horse sized duck would taste better. Second to cheap eBay server guide video. Okay, so Krista, did we tell them about that?
We haven't filmed it yet. We haven't really planned it, but we have like the stuff in place.
We have the
but-
beginnings of a plan for a thing.
Oh, yeah. We
Yeah.
don't really have a plan.
It's so I've got two servers that Krista is gonna do stuff with. One of them is a PowerEdge T110-2 or T110-3. It's an i3, and the other one is a quad socket, a 2U. It's a Dell R715, which is a 2U 2U Opteron server, four 8-core processors, I think. I've forgotten what processors it might be 4 6-cores, but it's a pretty beastly. It's only got 2.5-inch drive bays though. But she's gonna do some stuff with those servers for the video, and so you can totally get those on eBay. I mean, Dell R710s and 715s on eBay. They're the ones that are right on the edge of you can get cheap and they're decent, use a lot of power, but you may be able to get something a little better for just a few dollars more.
I often regret not taking IT classes when I had the chance in college. So now I have to take them now after I've graduated.
Amazon wish list. We started one in the beginning, but honestly, we don't have a ton of gear that we're still looking for.
Yeah.
So
You guys were super
It's-
generous when we got started out, so
Yeah, I mean,
that's what all that money went to, was buying lights and
yeah, I mean,
camera gear and
at this point, well, we might have to return that light in the fall.
Yeah.
So we might need to get some more lights. Right now we're using the studio lights that I've been using all along, except for we got new bulbs because one of the bulbs turned green,
yeah,
and
weird.
that one you can look at it right now and you can tell which one's got the new bulbs and which one doesn't. It's funny, really funny.
the point is, we're not going to do that. Twitch Bit Bonanza has not come in yet. It was like 60 days after. I think it's going to be in July sometime. I don't remember
Probably end
what
of July.
day of May that was. Was it May? Maybe it's. I don't know. No. The answer is no.
The answer is no, but it should be in probably end of month.
Money for PC upgrades for Krista. No, that's happening anyway.
That's going.
So
She's,
that's not Patreon money. That's not a thing.
You're playing Battlegrounds at home now, right? And it can run it?
Yeah, it actually, so weirdly enough, I have an AMD card at home and it runs like butter at home.
She has a 480.
Yeah, and it runs great at home, but like here, it's like occasionally, especially if it's raining, like it gets real stuttery.
980 here. Don't know
Yeah.
why. It's crazy. Not 980 non-TI. I don't know. But that's going to be upgraded. Her machine's going to be handed me down to somebody else.
By an intern, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. And your replacement machine probably going to be Ryzen.
Did Chris ever get that GPU upgrade from Sapphire? Something tells me with the current market, that offer has been rescinded.
Oh yeah, all about the Bitcoin mining.
I think they've like hired some homeless people to go through the warehouse. And it's like anything that looks like a 480 or a 580, get it, bring it. We must sell them all now.
This one doesn't have any voltage regulation circuitry. Doesn't matter. We'll get it working.
Send it to China.
Yeah. It should be funny.
May 22nd. Well, then it might be a while.
Streaming there, not streaming at home.
Oh, I can't stream at home. My internet's not good enough
She's
to
got a
stream at
shitty
home.
internet.
Yeah. I just can't bring myself to pay more for it, but I probably will eventually. I'll have to cave.
They cut the prices.
Did they?
Yeah, you can
Need
get
to
like if
renegotiate
you
with
get the TV package with it, you can get like the 100 megabit for
But I don't-
70.
I don't want their TV though. I don't
Well,
care about
I don't want the
cable.
TV either, but it's cheaper. It used to
Yeah.
be $100.
That's true.
Is anybody in chat on Discord not in the voice channel and wants to be? That
Oh,
was
yeah,
a
I
thing
took my
we
headphones
promised.
out, but
Did we get sampled a Ripper? Not yet. Maybe we will. I don't know.
Threadripper.
The guy from AMD thanked me for helping them on the IOMMU thing. So like, total fangirl. Maybe that means I'll get a Threadripper. I don't know. We'll see. We will be getting Threadripper one way or the other because, oh my god! But it would be nice if they sent us one. The 12 core is the one that I got my eye on, the one that can go to 4 gigahertz or maybe 4.1. That I think is the sweet spot. The 12 core.
Threadripper. That'd be a cooler name.
Intel Wallet Ripper.
We could probably answer some more questions on Patreon. I think we had a couple
I
more.
think there's one more. It's like, do you ever consider occasional live stream with the three of you playing Dwarf Fortress? It's not a multiplayer game, is it?
No.
No, Ryan has played Dwarf Fortress on our channel before.
I have streamed it yet, and it's not great for streaming because maybe if we use the tile set, but if I use the tile set, it would be difficult for me because I wouldn't know what everything looks like. But doing it with the ASCII characters, not so much. People are just like, what the fuck am I watching? And then they get bored.
Yeah, and leave.
Do I think ASRock Rack will make AM4 boards? I do. There are plans, I think, from several vendors to do server-ish Ryzen boards because of its, like, look, a lot of these appliances are using Pentium, Celeron, i3 CPUs from Intel and the C whatever chipset. Those days are over. The C whatever chipset is too expensive. The CPUs are too shitty and too expensive. It makes so much more sense to use a Ryzen 5 or a Ryzen 7 in those pieces of hardware. The bad news is that those appliances, like your home NAS, like QNAP recently did this, they announced it, but like buying one is another thing. Those are going to be used everywhere for like the next 5 years. You're gonna pick up stuff in 5 years that's got like a Ryzen 5 1400 in it, and that's just the way that it's going to be. Intel is basically dead in those markets. The only reason that new designs wouldn't use that is just confidence in that the Intel thing isn't going to do anything weird. But the chipset is cheaper. ASMedia's integration with it is cheaper because ASMedia sort of kind of the people that did the chipset on Ryzen. The i3, it's like, I'm going to go to Dell and buy a really low-end server based on an i3. There is no reason for anyone to do that anymore. The only reason before was the product price differentiation. The way that Ryzen is priced, you would be better off with an AM4 Ryzen or a Ryzen Pro.
What did you buy on the Steam sale? I didn't buy anything for myself, but I did buy my boyfriend a copy of Battlegrounds.
It was on sale.
I know. I just bought it. I was like, you have to play this.
I got Northgard, which I streamed last night, which is kind of good,
Oh, I saw you were playing that. I didn't realize you streamed it.
and Shadow of Mordor, which is
Cannon raping piece of
Yeah.
shit.
oh man, the ending. I got to tell you about the ending sometime.
Okay. I was telling him about like how Celebrimbor actually died, and it's way more metal than how they did in the game.
In the game, he beats him to death with the hammer that forged the ring. So
That's not nearly as brutal as what happens in the book.
doing that.
And Krista's really good with the Lord of the Rings.
Good
Turns out.
is good the word you're using? Is that
Good.
the
I like
adjective?
just knows too much trivia about it.
I'm trying to make sure we didn't miss any questions.
I
Oh,
don't
God.
think we have.
Did I miss anybody's question that's still here? We've got more people than we usually do, so thank you
Yeah.
guys for coming and hanging out.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, it was kind of like short notice too. We need to like plan it a little bit better, but
Yeah, sorry about it. This is technically June's Patreon thing because we're running a little bit behind. Everybody gets busy in the summer, and June's not a very long month.
yeah,
So,
all the holidays and stuff.
are there Ryzen fanless options? The power curve. So, like you could do Ryzen fanless. The power curve for Ryzen is really cool. Like heat production is an exponential curve. It looks like this. And so, like if you pick a Ryzen 5 down here, that's like a 65 watt part. If you underclock it, it's gonna have way less heat production. Like not linearly less, exponentially less heat production. So if you get like a Ryzen 5, 1400, and heat production is what you're worried about, underclock it. Make it like a 20 watt CPU. The 1800X that we have when I was doing experiments, if I remember correctly, and this might not be exactly right, I was shooting for a total power dissipation of like 25-30 watts, and it was still stable at like 2.7 or 2.9 or 3 gigahertz or something like that at like 0.9 volts, and so the wattage there was on the order of 25 or 30 watts, which is completely insane. And that's why we saw Ryzen 7 1700, I think it was, the desktop CPU in a 17-inch laptop at Computex. So, could we do an Unraid video on a media server running virtual home theater PC? I have been wanting to do a video on Unraid. It's not ready on Ryzen yet because of stuff that needs to happen in the Linux kernel, the NPT and that sort of thing. So we might do a video on updated FreeNAS because FreeNAS 11 is out. 11.1 is the ones you want to wait for because FreeNAS 10's got problems. And so we'll do FreeNAS, and then we'll look at Unraid. That said, I am biased for the ZFS file system, so I don't think Unraid supports ZFS. I love ZFS. ZFS is best FS. But, it's whatever.
I would take on Colbert.
Make a mailing list for the day before. Patreon is supposed to email you.
Maybe people don't have notifications turned on. I think there's an option for that in your profile, and a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to be spammed by this. They turn it off, which personally I would do the same thing, but we should probably announce it like on Twitter before. Sometimes I do that on my Twitter, but I forget. We should probably do it on the official one.
Yeah.
We're bad at social media. Posted my first tweet in like a month and a half.
Woo, Twitter. Speaking of which, I haven't checked my Twitter in a while. Probably should go check it.
I saw a turtle in a creek this week, and I posted about it. So there's important stuff happening on my Twitter.
Twitter has officially censored the CNN blackmail hashtag.
Oh, really?
It's gone.
Is it actually gone now?
They're getting thousands of tweets per hour, probably more than that, but actually it's not there for some reason. It's not trending.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. Well, the number stopped, right? So was sort of like, well, if you give us a little more money, maybe we can make it disappear. Like, did they just hold it over their head?
Nothing happening on Twitter.
Yeah.
The Samsung M.2 NVMe SSD worth the cost and speed for durability versus a cheaper, bigger M.2 SATA SSD? I'm doing photo editing, light video, and gaming. Probably it's worth it. I mean, if you're on spinning Rust right now, no, it doesn't really matter. If you're doing a lot of moving files around or editing or retouching or whatever, and Control S, and you'll notice the extra half second that you get when you're saving a file, then yeah, it's totally worth it. So will .be on Twitter. I think that could probably be worked out.
But what would he say? Because he just prints mean things. Yeah.
I don't know. Does Ryzen have favors in DDR4 ECC, or is it pretty much whatever? I've only tested it with the one Kingston kit, so I would get the Kingston kit if I were you for Ryzen, just to avoid any kind of issues. It is Samsung memory is probably your better bet. Hynix is the least Ryzen friendly for whatever reason. Is ECC fully supported anywhere on Ryzen? Yes. The guy from Hardware Canucks. The guy from Hardware Canucks did really extensive testing for an article, and I did testing on Linux. It depends on the motherboard, but the ASRock, Taichi, and the Gigabyte Gaming 5, both of those support ECC. It's unregistered ECC, so be sure of that. But it does support the non-maskable interrupt for an uncorrectable ECC error, and you can force it to shut the system down when an unrecoverable ECC error occurs. And the single-bit errors are reported to the system using, whatever the mechanism is that's built into the Linux kernel. It also works on Windows as of, I guess, the creators update or whatever drivers are installed or whatever it is. You will get errors in the Windows system event log, and all that works fine. So, should be good. Was playing on an R5 1600 Proxmox. Yes, that should be a really good system. So, yeah, for the M.2, I don't think you would really notice much on gaming between a good SSD and an M.2, a good M.2 SATA SSD and an M.2 NVMe. But for photo editing and light video editing, you'll notice it when you save and when you're moving really big files around is when you'll notice it the most, or if you're switching back and forth between a bunch of programs that have really huge files that have to be read from disk or updated. Asus AMD boards have ECC support historically, all of them, but I'm not sure for AM4.
Not a question.
No. I haven't
Just read it.
I haven't tried the Asus boards though, so I don't know that they have good perfect support for it. So, because actually I had sent that question to Asus and they said no. That was before the boards were released. It was like, hey, ECC support, blah blah blah. The answer was no. So, but I have not tested it directly.
Another dot question. We answered that earlier, but he's
back and watch
kind
the
of
video.
working. Yeah.
It's coming along.
He's coming along. But we haven't had a lot of time to work on him.
Low priorities.
Followed the OneRing.net. Some good memories from back when I was in middle school.
What is the OneRing.net?
It was a big fan site for Lord of the Rings. And that's where people would write articles about different things and different theories about the books and the movies and
then Peter Jackson shut them down.
No, they're still up. They're still up.
Did that predate the movies?
I think so. Yeah, I remember because I used to go there to look at fan art. That was where you could find all of Ted Naismith's work back in the day.
Any word on X300? Nope, not from board vendors. Everybody is focused on Threadripper and X299. I think honestly the X299 launch has been almost as much of a mess as the Ryzen launch, which is really funny. So yeah. The Asus website says ECC and non-ECC for the Prime. Yeah, I asked about that too, and I was told that it'll use ECC memory, but not use ECC memory. So
it is a mystery.
It'll use it, but the ECC function will not be enabled. But I don't know if that's actually true. That may not really be true, because Gigabyte said that at first too, and then they were like, no, actually everything is fine. So I need to follow up with the guy and ask him, I guess. But that was when Ryzen launched. I was like, do you support it? And it's like, no, we don't. Okay. Where do you guys get the poster size hard drive pattern?
I think that Etsy?
I think that one came from Massdrop.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong.
Patent artwork is free to use.
Our patent hard drive magnet, or our patent hard drive, whatever, you redid a little bit.
Yeah, I redrew it.
Makes it good for
Get an Illustrator and fix it up.
mouse pads.
Oh, Illustrator. spent a lot of time in Illustrator making SVGs the last couple days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Woo! So yeah, this is really exciting, you guys. And then also, it's 6 months. We're now 6 months into level 1. We're not doing too bad.
Tiny little babby. We're growing up. We're saying our first word and we're holding our head up. Not
We've got a
peeking on
ways-
ourselves as much.
We got a ways to go. We're not doing too bad.
Yeah.
Can we get a Mobo partner to send us an engineer? You know, I asked for that explicitly with the whole X299 VRM thing because, you know, I don't know. The VRM circuit is engineered to withstand 120 degrees C, 125 degrees C, from what I've been told. So, any plans to review the other M4 ITX boards like ASRock and Gigabyte? ASRock, you know, they got a new contact, and the new contact won't return my emails, so I don't have any idea what's going on there. Gigabyte, I think, will send me their ITX thing as soon as it's ready, so that'll probably be good. So I may harass you guys on Twitter to help me harass ASRock whenever something comes out from them that I would like to review. Otherwise, we'll just end up ordering it. So normally I don't order, like for other business uses, I don't normally order ITX or micro ATX stuff. So getting it, like the chances of us just getting it as part of another project are pretty slim.
How's everybody's day? Feeling good?
How are you guys doing? This has been a much chattier thingy.
Yeah, it's been nice. I think this
I
might
don't
have been
think
a
there's
good
going to be any reason to do the Discord thing again, though.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if we did it on a different day, like a day to Euro, people could make it.
But Xenon brought up an important point. There's a delay. So if they're listening, they can only listen to one. Well, they can't hear us on Discord. And there's a delay between this.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's really useless.
Got to figure out a better setup for it if we keep doing it this way.
Well, no, the voice, it's fine. You just wouldn't be able to watch the video. You just have to join us in voice and mute your YouTube.
But they're listening through that microphone?
Yeah.
I'm sure that sounds like shit.
Well, but all they have to do is just be able to hear us well enough to understand.
Dang it, missed the start. That's okay. We've answered all your questions already.
Yep. You got
Actually,
any
we've
more
answered all the
questions?
ones on Patreon. If you've got text questions or if you're a 19 plus donor.
4K 40-inch that can do the 1080p panels above 60 hertz. That is the crossover 55. The above 60 hertz is overclocking it, though. So if you push it too much, you will get frame skipping. You think AMD making both CPUs and GPUs has hurt or helped them? It seems to be pretty well divided inside the company, so should be good.
I'm listening through YouTube because Wendell's muted on Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pointless.
I muted the mic, so. But it's just me and Xenon. Nobody else wanted to join voice.
I'm just busy. PogChamp.
55 is too big. Sorry.
2 O's in that word.
So I'll just sit in silence now while we
I
wait for
think
another
we're winding
question.
down. It's 8:30.
Maybe go
Mutation,
for about an hour.
you might wait another month or 2 or 3 because I think we're going to start seeing high refresh rate 4K panels or maybe 5K panels out of Korea soon. So that would be the thing to watch for. They're not out yet, but here's hoping. I just reviewed a 34-inch ultra wide. The video is basically done, and that one is 95 hertz, and it is a true 95 hertz. You can actually overclock it a little beyond that even, and the panel responds really quickly. We used the high-speed camera to look at it. It did really well. It's a crossover 34-inch, so that video will probably be live before too long.
Am I the grammar police? Well, spelling is not grammar, which you spelled wrong.
So yes.
Any thoughts on New Vega? We put a little mini expose
the
on
news?
Yeah, at the beginning of the news, and that basically covered our thoughts on Vega. So you check out the first part of the news. There was actually a link on our AMD. It's on page 2 now. where they said
He's
that,
not been monitoring at all.
yeah, they said that we were funny. So that's so encouraging.
Well, some people didn't.
Yeah. Thoughts on Patreon's redesign? I don't like the logo. I'm not like in love with the sidebar nav either. I appreciate it because it's different and like it's functional enough, I guess. But it's totally. So I was looking at it today, and because I'm a freak, I made it go down to the mobile view, and it changes the nav completely. So that means that they've got two different navigation. Like they've got one that they only display on mobile and one that they only display on desktop, which is not great because it's like a ton of code that you don't need. And the logo is just kind of meh. Like it's not bad, but I think it's going to be dated in like a year. I kind of miss the old one personally.
We'd love to see an in-depth storage test on Intel M.2. Are you talking about Optane? Because the next question from Train Guy Rom is, oh no, that's $17 a month. Sorry. I'd like to see if you can install Linux on the Intel Optane thingies. Yes, you can. They show up as normal M.2 storage, so 16 or 32 gigabytes. If your stuff will fit on there, you can totally install it on there. I don't know that I would install Linux to it. It's not really super useful. But one thing that I did do, we got a 16 gig Optane. Haven't finished the video on that yet. But a MySQL database running from Optane is insanely fast, like face-meltingly fast. It is disturbing how fast it is. So if your database will fit in 16 or 32 gigabytes, and you don't need redundancy, just put it on an Optane. You'll be fine. Is HBM going to be on the CPU anytime soon, and would that work? I don't know if anybody's working on a CPU product that has HBM, but it would totally work. It would work as like a high bandwidth cache or something that would be really huge, and that might improve yield sizes. Maybe AMD plans to do that with what they're doing with like putting 4 dies on a single substrate, like they're doing with Threadripper and Epic.
Epic with a Y.
I'm going to buy the ASRock M4 Mini ITX. Would you be interested in purchasing and having it delivered? We've done that. We've done that a few times. Message me on the forum. Maybe we can work it out. I mean, it's not really a big deal. Maybe. So, turning around L2 Arc on the Intel Optane. That's specifically what I tested. And no, you don't want to do that. The write speed on Optane is awful. It is awful. Just awful. 16 to 32 gigabytes is, we're talking about 120 to 160 megabytes per second. It is a turd. You would need to get 4 16 gig Optanes and RAID 0 them and use that as your L2 Arc to make it worthwhile. The reason MySQL is so fast is because latency. The latency is basically zero. It's nothing to do with transfer rate. It's latency. Getting the SNES Mini. I don't like Nintendo. The company. I like Nintendo.
Oh, I was gonna say, do you not like any Nintendo game?
I like Nintendo the products. I don't like Nintendo the company.
Shit value for what you're getting. Just steal them.
Heard it here first, everybody. Just steal it.
Any chance you would explore enterprise storage tech like new SAN tech?
I already answered that question. Go back and watch the video.
Yeah. Well, there's one thing that I would add, which is you can get a really good deal on 1.2 terabyte SSDs on eBay that are coming out of the enterprise. They're pre-NVMe NVMe SSDs. IO Drive 2. You can get them larger, but the 1.2 terabyte, they're insanely fast. They're as fast as an Intel 750 or Flash. They're like $300. VDI tech videos in the future. I did a VDI video that was lost to the ages playing Skyrim on an original Surface. That would be good.
How is the tree doing that, aphids? Press F to pay respects.
It's probably dead.
No, it's pretty certain. Oh.
Oh,
And the power just died.
the power just went out. Hopefully the internet didn't die.
Kind of clicked right back on. The
Icon
backups.
looks okay. Yeah, I think that chat would have disconnected.
Yay, the chat still works. I think
Did
they
you
want
guys?
to
I
wrap
wonder if
up.
did they see that?
Yeah, I think
We're on your dime. Yeah, we gotta go.
we got our hour in.
Well, thank you all again. We would not be able to do this without you. And I think opportunities are picking up, which is good. You know, vendors are still somewhat cautious after the whole split thing, but things are improving, and we have opportunities to do stuff. So that's kind of exciting. Plans for the future, we actually have a lot of videos planned, so I think we're in really good shape.
New intro video is coming along.
Yeah, we're gonna do a new channel intro video and see if that helps. One of the things, the main thing that we want to do is content that will drive new subscribers and let people know that we're not like, we try not to be like egocentric assholes, and we try not to be like so full of ourselves. It's like, oh my god, we're so important and our opinion matters and whatever. And as a result of doing that, it's narcissistic maybe also. It's not really good for like promoting the channel. So we're gonna try to do some stuff to promote the channel and see how that goes and get more subscribers, because I think that more people would probably enjoy our content, but we don't go out of our way to be like, oh my god, blah, blah, blah.
Like, favorite, and subscribe.
Yeah, that.
Share.
Ryan has to tell us his best post video game rage story.
There, no feelings there. Okay.
Number text. I don't really know. Probably. I mean, I want to see more home lab stuff. Yeah, me too. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
We go.
All right, we're gonna go out. Bye.
See ya. Are we gonna stream? Are we gonna play any games?
We can.
Are we going to try to accomplish anything tonight?
I don't know.
We probably should script a little bit, or at least look into some other things. But anyway, okay. Bye, guys.
Thank you guys. We'll see ya.